and let's continue. So the next and final speaker from the manufacturing side is Jerzy Rudnicki, who is a senior technical manager of Astronergy. And Jerzy will talk about experience in building a zero carbon factory. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you very much for the introduction. I think you should be seeing my screen now. Do you see it correctly?
Yes, perfect.
Yes. Okay, so yes, my name is Jerzy, and I'm a senior technical manager working at Astronergy. I'm based in Europe and covering predominantly East Europe, but also Spain when it comes to the technical aspects of our projects. Before we enter to this, the main topic of this presentation, just a reminder of who we are. I would like you to remember that we are a part of a Chint Group, and Chint Group is a global leading smart energy solution provider with more than 40 years worldwide. And Chint is active in throughout many industrial chains, from power generation through storage, transmission, distribution, trading, and consumption. You might know the Chint equipment. You might know Chint as an equipment manufacturer, for example, in high voltage, medium voltage, even up to low voltage small devices. And when it comes to the green energy business sector, this Chint New Energy, Chint is also active in all of those activities. On the left side, for example, you might remember Chint inverters, but there is also EPC and other branches. But when it comes to PV module and cell R&D, manufacturing and sales, this part is branded as Astronergy, and this is where we are, and this is the part which we will be speaking about more. And when it comes to Astronergy, over the last few years, Astronergy has experienced astonishing growth, particularly last 3 years. You can see on the left side, these are the manufacturing capacities with the distinguishment for the N-type technologies. And also what is quite interesting is even this year, we are reaching 91% when it comes to the N-type manufacturing share of the whole PV cell and module capacities. And the next year, we will practically phase out the P-type manufacturing. So this is also quite interesting, and this is actually going forward in the future faster than the technology trends. And when you look at the manufacturing facilities, so we do have 9 domestic manufacturing bases and 3 overseas. And among these 3 overseas factories, so the Thailand is in operation, but we also have the factory in Turkey, which will come into operation later this year with 500 megawatts of module manufacturing. And the next one is the US factory, which is under construction. And we do also consider other locations when it comes to manufacturing, including Saudi Arabia. But for us here, most of all, the Europe is one of the places that we consider, basically to be closer to our customers and provide better and more aligned products. Now we will move more towards the topic of today. We already have created our strategy roadmap or our sustainability roadmap as our strategy already a few years ago. And last year we have published our ESG report. We have also acquired certain green certificates for our products, and we also achieved already last year so-called zero carbon factory, of which I will tell you in this presentation later a little bit more. There are also further steps on this way, and the ultimate goal of this path is to become a zero carbon or carbon neutral company by the 2050. And up till 2028, we plan to have 8 zero carbon factories. And also on the way to reach this ultimate goal, we will meet these steps that we have planned. So what are the tangible activities or groups of activities that we have thought through where we need to improve in order to be carbon neutral? Well, these are these 4 major steps or stepstones, groups of activities where we are implementing the green activities, and from the upstream to the downstream or to the lifetime of the product, I will now guide you through what we are doing and what we have already done and will be doing in those 4 areas. And starting from the green supply chain, we have already acquired a group of processes which create this green handling of our suppliers. I'm thinking here about green supplier evaluation, green selection, and green supplier management and training. And we work with them in order to enhance this social responsibility across the whole chain, and of course promote sustainable business and supply chain development. And thanks to that, we can offer the traceability within our products. And I have spoken about the processes that we have built already some time ago, and they are now being further developed. And here you have an example of the supplier management process, the chart. And this is a good example which shows how we basically organize the activities throughout the supplier development, introduction, approval, and supervision. And last but not least, here we also do organize from time to time supplier contests. This is basically to further enhance the green activities at our suppliers. So this one was, for example, organized last year in June. 65 suppliers took part, and 8 suppliers were recognized for their exceptional green efforts. And then, of course, we do this because we plan to support our suppliers when it comes to their certification, in their ESG audits, of course, their procurement, raw material traceability, and of course, their capacity building. And the goal is to promote sustainable development and build a green future for all of them. Then when it comes to the next step of those 4 steps, green manufacturing, I think that the good example is here, the bespoken already zero carbon factory that we have achieved. So at our Yancheng base, we have implemented several improvements. The most important ones are the PV plants that we have, of course, deployed, and we have deployed them on the rooftop of this plant. Then we have also we have extended this PV plant over the carports. We also invested in PV powered lighting systems. You have the details and the quantities also here in this slide. Additionally, apart from electrical energy investments, we also invested in other interventions which deal with, for example, water saving or waste management. Of course, we have implemented certain green materials when it comes to, or eco-friendly materials when it comes to the construction. And overall, there is a system, intelligent management system that tracks the energy saving and carbon emissions. There is also additional part of the certificates trade, and the objective of course of all of that is to save the primary resources, reduce the usage of raw materials, and of course reduce the CO2 emissions or offset the remaining ones that cannot be reduced. And thanks to all these interventions, we have achieved the Zero Carbon Factory certificate. The TUV, actually, this is the first such Zero Carbon Factory in the PV domain certificate issued by TUV Rhineland. So this is also quite interesting. And so the TUV last year, or actually the year before, they have been verifying us, supervising, and we have been reporting all the information. And for example, during the reporting period, more than 69% of energy came from the renewables. And also we have we were able to offset the greenhouse gases more than 65%. And we took this case, this whole example, and we have presented it at COP conference in Dubai last year successfully. Then we proceed to the third step, which is green design. So here we have implemented the technical advancements that we have developed into our products. So a good example here is zero busbar tiling film technology, which not only acts as an improvement in terms of performance and reliability of our products, but also acts here in order to reduce the energy, because the whole process is a so-called low temperature process. So we utilize less energy for the manufacturing. By the way, the zero busbar is part of the metallization process, so the busbaring process of the module assembly. We reduced also the raw materials, such as silver paste was reduced by 20%. Also the development here tackles the width of the silicon that is constantly being reduced. So again, the reduction of the raw materials. And then there is also the topic of the PFAS. So our countermeasures are basically developing and also promoting the double glass design throughout all our products. So we have a proportion of 90% glass modules. So we basically are going away from using the backsheet. We do have also certificates for these products. And since I mentioned certificates, behind the good products, we have also eco-related or green certificates, and some of them, many of them, we have actually already achieved, completed, such as EPD, Environmental Product Declaration in certain countries. We are on the EU Energy Efficiency label now. We collaborate with PV Cycle, and about the PV Cycle you will know much more in the next presentation following this one. So please stay tuned as well. Coming back to our products, I wouldn't be myself if I didn't present you the key products which are the result of this what I already mentioned, manufacturing and design. So today we are focusing almost entirely on the TOPCon modules, and we do have three categories of the modules. So these 2 and 7 and 5, these are more for the utility segment and C&I, especially these are rectangular cells, so the 60 cells, and then we have the N5, these are square cells, TOPCon, and for the residential and C&I segment, we do have also rectangular cells, TOPCon, specifically, of course, the 54 cell is the most common one, but we do have also 60 cell rectangular module, which with the powers exceeding 500 watt. So particularly the 500 watt is now a good product because of the equal or round power output. So this is something useful when you are creating power plants with the round, when you need to create the power plants with the round numbers, such as 2, 3, 4, or how many kilowatts you need. And then there are testimonials for for those products. So last year we won the PV Magazine test. We do have awards from TÜV Rheinland, and particularly these two last ones, they are quite important for our customers because these are extended testing certificates. So for the 8th time, we are the top performer by the PVEL, PQP, and then the RETC also for the many times in the row already. Also, I think for the 8th time, we do have the overall highest achiever award also this year. And the last point of this building the green manufacturing is the green recycling. So here we are acting in, I would say, 3 areas. So first of all, we are focusing on the leftovers or scraps. So during the manufacturing process, of course, there are leftovers, and we do uttermost effort to recover what is value in those leftovers, specifically for the copper, silver, and silicon. And then, of course, the heavy metals are such as lead and tin. They are safely disposed. And we have achieved already 95% of the recycling rate for the PV cells, and 80% recycling rate of the welding ribbons, for example. Then here the second step is to use the recyclable packaging materials. So of course the cartoons, pallets, packaging, this is designed in the way that this is easier to recycle, and we can tell you also that we do have the 100% recycling rate of the packaging, glass, and such packaging materials. And the last thing is the R&D. So of course we do think how to develop the technology in the way that it is easier for the recycling. Yeah. So for example, use recycled glass or recycled silicon, silver, and copper. Utilize this in the new products. And we also collaborate with the institutions. Of course, with the PV cycle in various areas, we have valid certificates, but not only that. The French Soren institution, Eco PV, and CPIA, for example, in China. I'm happy also to add that we are also a member of SSI group. And that's all for the presentation. So once again, for you to remember, there are these 4 steps of activity, which we are improving our activities and adding new parts to those in order to create this zero carbon manufacturing. And the ultimate goal, as I said, for the 2050 is to become carbon neutral. Thanks again for these presentations. I'm now handovering to you, Michael, and of course I'm happy to answer any questions if there are any.
Yeah, very interesting presentation. Thanks, Jerzy. So what I first liked is actually that 40% of your overall employees are female. That's cool.
Yeah.
I think I haven't seen that yet. So at least on conferences, usually solar conferences, there's very.
Maybe you are referring to the slide which I shown as our path in order to reach the zero carbon output, and I think this is on our path. Yeah.
Okay.
So maybe that's still something that we are planning to reach. Yeah.
Okay, because I think that would have been outstanding.
Yeah. There was a slide with the activities, and there were many activities mentioned. I didn't go through all of them in detail because I wanted to have your focus on the general idea. Yeah, what are the general steps? So that there are some steps that still need to come into place. Yeah, on that path. Yeah.
That's the right way. Interesting. Anyway, So maybe I think what I also found interesting, because you mentioned local manufacturing, and you showed that that map that you are active in several regions and are also planning expansion. And you also said you want to produce in Europe, and I think mostly it's modules, as I understood, except
Yes.
for
Yeah.
Arabia. But of course, that has also is a biggest chunk to transport. Is this concrete, the plan for Europe, or is this
Well,
still
I can't disclose any dates or any further concrete details on that. This is under discussion. Yeah. So for the moment, this is under discussion. But
okay?
it's a strong discussion, and also I think it really all depends on the next months in the market and how the market will behave. Also in terms of the legislation, and I think these activities or these events they can speed up or slow down the final decision. I think, yeah.
Okay, thanks a lot. Very interesting. Okay, so we continue. I think, Jerzy, if you can stay, maybe there are questions in the chat, just in case, and
Sure.
then any would be kind if you could answer.